Anime fans, raise your hand if you haven't heard of Attack on Titan. I can't see you, but odds are not very many hands were raised. Attack on Titan is almost as popular as Dragon Ball Z these days, and it only had one season. Well, the second season has been delayed, but there's only been one season so far. Years have gone by since the first season aired, and you still see merchandise all over the place in the United States. With as popular as it is, it's a surprise that there's never been a great deal of Attack on Titan video games that have done well. One game tried on the 3DS, Attack on Titan Humanity in Chains. Tons of hype for it, but the main consensus is that the gameplay wasn't very good. But that's not to say it can't change. A new Attack on Titan game has finally come west that has been out on PlayStation and other systems in Japan for quite some time now. That is what I'm here to talk about today. From Muso experts Omega Force and Koei Tecmo that brings Dynasty Warriors and Samurai Warriors games, here is my review of the PlayStation Vita and PlayStation TV version of Attack on Titan. Do I even need to go into what the story of Attack on Titan is about? Well, some of you may not have seen the anime, so let's go into it. The plot of the game is the same as the plot of the anime. In Season 1, we show a world depicted where humanity is on the brink of extinction. 100 years prior, giant humanoids known as Titans, bent on devouring and destroying every human in sight, nearly brought the race to extinction. To protect themselves, giant walls were built to keep the Titans out. This peace lasted for 100 years until a new Titan, the Colossal Titan, taller than the wall, broke it down and left humanity scrambling for survival. Our story revolves around one young child named Eren Yeager who vows revenge against the entire Titan race and wants to join the Scout Regiment, a military organization dedicated to going outside the walls into Titan territory and taking the fight to them. The storyline of the game covers the entire first season of the anime, but one thing that fans of the show will want to take note of is that the game actually goes a little beyond the end of the first season and shows a little bit more into what might be the season 2 that the anime developers are working on. It's not a whole lot, but it's definitely got some fun attached to it. Unlike Dynasty Warriors and Samurai Warriors, which are button mash friendly Muso action games, this is a high-speed action game with a lot of strategy involved. First of all are all the game modes. When you boot up the game, you have Attack Mode and True Attack Mode. Attack Mode lets you go through the story, and True Attack Mode lets you go through New Game Plus for a much harder challenge, or for a much bigger challenge. Expedition Mode is where you can go in to do local or online co-op missions. Note that there is no crossplay, so Vita gamers can only play with other Vita gamers. Then you have Gallery for viewing character models and information, options for the game settings, and download for accessing downloadable content once that starts to release. No matter what gameplay mode you're in, between missions you're always going to go to a camp or a base of operations. Here you can utilize the shops to craft and upgrade equipment and horses to take into battle with you. You can buy various models to decorate your camp with, or you can talk to NPCs to be able to either play new missions, replay old missions, or do side quests. Being out in the field, though, is the bulk of the game and really where you have an Attack on Titan feel. In most Muso games, you just have mindless hordes of enemy everywhere you look. In Attack on Titan, every single enemy is a Titan and is like a boss fight in and of itself. You have different sizes of Titans. Some are only a couple times bigger than you, and some look nearly like a skyscraper to you. Every enemy has several different body parts you can target to attack. Obviously, if you target the nape, you're going to be able to damage and kill them. But if you target limbs, you can get rare materials to use for the camp shops. Later on in the game, a lot more strategy is put in, not only with major bosses, but some regular enemies will have protected napes, requiring you to take down other limbs before you can even damage to try to kill them. This really helps mix things up a bit, plus the fact that there are a lot of different mission types. Some missions just have you fighting titans until a boss appears, while other missions have you escorting NPCs while protecting them, defending outposts, and a lot of other types of things. Koei Tecmo games are known for becoming repetitive, especially in the Musou genre. Even though this isn't technically a Musou game, you're attacking titans over and over and over and over and over again, and a lot of the models look the same because they're limited to the actual titan designs that were in the anime. You're always going to be fighting titans no matter what kind of mission you're in, and if you keep doing it over and over and over again, especially in multiplayer mode, it can start to get a little repetitive after a while because you're getting to the point where you're doing the same thing over and over again, and to the point where titans are getting harder to kill, so it's just attach, attack, 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 reattach, attack, 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 etc., etc. It is a lot of mindless fun, but it can get repetitive over time. Speaking of time, let's talk about how long this game is. There are two main difficulties aside from true attack mode. There's easy and normal. If you tackle the game on easy, the story will probably take you about 12-13 hours to finish. If you tackle it on normal, we're talking more like 20 hours. There's a pretty big difference between the two difficulties. Even with the price, you know you're going to get at least 20 hours of gameplay. That's including the main story, the post-game story, and not even touching the multiplayer exclusive stuff. Now, presentation is why a lot of you are probably watching this review. There's been a lot of talk in the Vita community about how horrible, terrible, unplayable this game is. I can say that is exaggerated, but there are some issues we need to talk about. First of all, the graphics I wouldn't say are anywhere near the shining epitome of PS Vita graphics. It's kind of between PSP graphics and normal PS Vita graphics, but I think due to the fast-paced nature of the game, it can really be forgiven. It's not like they didn't put any effort into it, it's just that it probably could have been a little better. There are two things about the presentation I do want to say, at least as far as frustration goes. One is built into every version of the game, and one is exclusive to the PS Vita version. First of all, the camera. I hate it. You will hate it. Everyone will hate it. When you're surrounded by titans and you're attacking and you're near like a little crevice, if you fall to the ground, the camera will love to put a wall in front of the camera so you can't see anything at all while you're being pummeled, grabbed, eaten, the list goes on. The camera is a nuisance. The second part, frame rate. That is something that a lot of PS Vita gamers are saying makes the game unplayable. It is definitely there. When you land a kill, or when you're completely surrounded by titans, especially after you land a kill, the frames will slow down quite a bit. Now, this is not to an unplayable point because it doesn't last very long, and while a lot of people will probably think it goes from like 30 FPS to 5 FPS, I would say, as a guesstimate, it would go from maybe 25 or 30 to 15 or 20. It's definitely a frustration, but it doesn't make the game unplayable. In most cases, it's going to be fine. It's only in a few cases and unlucky scenarios, if a bunch of titans follow you into a tight corner, that you're going to run into this problem. Attack on Titan is a fun game that really goes far to match and stay true to its source material. Now, on the downside, the camera is very bothersome. The game can get repetitive once multiplayer hits you so far, and the Vita version has some frame drips that are going to cause some frustration. But if you can deal with a few frame dips, it's a whole lot of fun to mindlessly fly around in ODM gear on the go. If you can't deal with this, then there's always the PS3 or PS4 versions you can get. Reviews to Go rates the PS Vita version of Attack on Titan a 7 out of 10. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them below or head to the site at www.reviewstogo.com.